Elements of graphic design. Graphic design is about representation of ideas and concepts for communication or expression. It requires a visual medium of representation. A graphic design communicates through the visual language of dots, lines, shapes, and colors. When we write something on a paper with black ink, we read it because we see it first and then understand the meaning. Reading is nothing but first and foremost a visual perception. Similarly, when we see a beautiful painting, it is a visual perception. Visual perception has two basic components: material medium and visual sensitivity. Firstly, white surface of a paper or black ink, colors that result into dots, lines, shapes, and so on. This material is called medium in graphic design. Material medium is a vehicle of visual perception. Secondly, visual perception happens through the eyes, and therefore visual sensitivity is very important. Material medium and visual sensitivity both play an important role in graphic design. Any random scribbling of ink on paper is not called writing. Similarly, any random splash of color on paper is not called a beautiful picture. Therefore, a disciplined or proper visual arrangement is required. Dots, lines, shapes, forms, colors are the basic elements of graphic design, without which graphic design is not possible. Similarly, there are time-tested rules or laws of arrangement of these elements so that they will look beautiful and will be effective. These rules are called principles of visual composition. A graphic designer needs to learn and understand the role of basic elements and principles of composition in design. They are the core of graphic design. These elements are discussed in detail here. Elements of graphic design. There are three major categories of these elements: basic elements, relational elements, intentional elements. Basic elements. Basic elements of composition are abstract concepts. They do not actually exist but seems to be present in a picture or in any visual representation. Point. In graphic design, a point is represented in the form of a dot and it indicates a particular position. It is the end or the beginning of a line. We feel that there is a point wherever two lines meet. This point is a basic element of design. Line. A line is metaphorically defined as a line is a dot gone for a walk. That is, a line is a point in motion. A line can be thin or thick. Lines can be of various types. They can be straight, curved, zigzag, etc. Each type of line will create a different visual impact. Plane. A plane is defined as an entity with length and breadth but no depth. It is a two-dimensional flat or level surface. Space. Space is defined in terms of its visual representation in a composition. Shape. A shape is a well-defined outline of a two-dimensional form. Form. Any shape filled with some color, texture, or gradation, it becomes meaningful as well as it creates an illusion of three dimensions. A shape becomes a form. In graphic design, written text that is made up of typefaces is also treated as form. The word or sentence itself is treated as a visual form in a visual composition. You can achieve maximum impact from a word or sentence if its linguistic meaning and their visual treatment in a composition are complementary to each other. Color. Color is the basic and core attribute of visual perception, and therefore it is the most effective element of graphic design. Can you imagine a world made up of only black and white? Graphic designers work with two popular color systems. One is RGB, another one is CMYK. RGB is a primary color used for display purpose, and CMYK is a secondary color used for printing purpose. We can divide the color wheel into warm colors and cool colors. It's called color temperature. In fine arts and graphic design, color is studied to understand its visual properties such as hue, luminosity, and value. Hue. Hue is a unique quality of color by which a particular color is identified: red, yellow, blue. Luminosity. Luminosity is relative brightness or dullness. Value. Value is a relative darkness or lightness on a value scale. Grayscale. Grayscale is generated by mixing of white and black in different proportions. Texture. A visual texture is the characteristic of a surface that creates an experience or the feeling of touch in a visual composition. Designers work with simulated texture as well as real texture or both. Relational elements. This group of elements governs the placement and interrelationship of the basic elements such as dot, line, and form in a visual composition to enhance the visual impact of the composition. Alignment. When a group of elements in a composition are arranged in a vertical or horizontal manner in such a way that they fall in line, then this arrangement is called alignment. Direction. It is an arrangement of basic elements of graphic design that helps in organizing various elements in the composition. Visual thrust. It is an arrangement of graphic elements that helps or guides the audience's eyes to move in a desired way in the composition. It literally forces viewers to move in the expected direction. Directional elements contribute to generate visual thrust. Figure and ground. Visual elements in a composition occupy space. The space occupied by the majority of visual elements is called positive space, and rest of the space in the composition is negative space. Visual gravity. All of us experience Earth's gravity and associate heaviness or lightness. In the context of visual composition, we tend to attribute the notion of gravity in terms of visual heaviness or lightness in the composition. Therefore, big shapes in the lower part of the composition appear heavier and small shapes in the upper part appear lighter in the composition. Visual gravity is also termed as visual weight. Intentional elements. All designs have some purpose or an intention. Graphic works make an impact on the target audience. For example, an advertisement in a newspaper not only communicates the information, but because of appropriate graphics makes an impact. This is possible due to the proper use of intentional elements. There are three types of intentional elements: aesthetic, content, and function. Aesthetic. When a concept or an idea derived from nature is expressed using dots, line color, texture, shapes, etc., it is called representation. The representation of a concept or natural forms is called realistic if it is depicted as it is. It is called stylized if the representation is decorative and ornamental. If the representation eliminates unnecessary details and representation is minimal, then it is called abstract. All the styles produce distinctive visual and thematic impact. Content. A message or a theme of the design is called the content. The theme can be historical, socio-cultural, eco-friendly, or scientific, and so on. Function. It is the purpose or application of the design to deliver results. Design can be informative. For instance, it can create awareness about something to provide information about something. Design can express our thoughts or emotions. Sometimes, graphic design is used for giving instructions to operate an instrument or machine or a kid. Graphic design is used to design a textbook, instructional manual, educational CD-ROM, or it can be used as a teaching tool. In advertisements, many a time, graphic design is used to create an impact. I hope you guys understand the elements of graphic design. Thank you.